All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, obviously you folks are the alternates. And so I know you knew that there were some, and I think one of you asked and kind of guessed, maybe because you were 13, you might have been where it started. And I didn't want to say one way or the other. And the reason for that is I don't, as a practice, ever tell anyone who is the alternate because I want to make sure everybody is equally attentive, not that you wouldn't be, or doesn't feel any different than anybody else, because you never know what happens. I mean, we have cases that are obviously much shorter than this, and we always have at least one alternate. Sometimes we have 2 or 3, depending on the length of the case. So that's why I had to choose 4, and quite frankly, I chose that number from just listening to some other judges on lengthy cases and some stories that had happened where they had to replace 2 or 3. And the other problem that comes into play is if you get to a point where the jury gets less than the number you need, you might have a mistrial problem. So that's why the need for the alternates. I know it's a difficult position for you all to be in because now you've been invested and you've listened all this time and now you're not back there to deliberate. But that doesn't mean that that's not still a possibility. Because the jury is sequestered, I need to have you stick around for a while in case something were to happen to one of the jurors and they needed to be replaced by an alternate. So I'm just going to ask that you stick around for a while. We'll see what happens and see where we go. I may get to a point where I will excuse a couple of you, but I may have to keep a couple of you depending on how things are going and how late we may go this evening and whether we get a verdict or not this evening. So I tell you that because we're going to keep you in a separate area, obviously separate from those folks, and we just have to have you hang around for a little while. But you'll kind of be a little isolated. I guess we're still in the bubble, okay? So thank you very much, obviously, for your time and attention. Just hang with us and let's see where we go. And we will, depending on how long things go, we'll have food for you and everything like that, all right? So I think you know where you want to put them. Okay, great. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll talk to you again before we're finished completely. All right, so I just need the cover sheet with the proper case number.
Yes, sir.
They're coming? Okay, good. Oh, they're all right now. I'll tell them in a second.
And Judge, when you're ready, we wanted you to cover the laptop again.
Yes.
What's been done for the
We can do that while she's preparing these things. So where are we on a laptop?
Your Honor, there are 2 logins. One did have an administrative password. I locked it. It's completely locked. I tried to get into it. It's completely out. I looked at the jury, the one that they had labeled jury. There's nothing, no way to get to the internet. Nothing's enabled. I looked on every one of the applications, made sure there wasn't anything stored or saved or anything. It's completely clean, and I feel confident in this.
All right, so obviously the state's okay with that computer because you've been using it prior to.
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied now, Mr. Strolla, that we can use that computer to view whatever the jury wants to view?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dunn, are you okay with that computer that we just talked about to view?
Providing we can play the surveillance video on it?
Yes, they can.
And so
Okay. Mr. Dunn, while we're speaking, you satisfied with how things went today?
yes, sir.
And still satisfied with Mr. Strolla and his representation of you? Not only today, but throughout the whole course of the case?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, I'm still waiting on my,
I'm having computer issues, Judge.
that's all right.
Judge, I locked the gun case and I have the keys, but I'm assuming you want it to remain locked.
Yes, and, yes. I don't have a problem with it going back there, it's locked. And I don't have a problem, let's see, that's got the, where's the knife?
It's attached to that board and cannot be opened while strapped to the board.
Okay, all right. I don't have a problem with that. Hey, Mr. Strolla, you okay with all that stuff, obviously going back?
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right. So we're just waiting on the cover sheet and the verdict forms and a selection of a foreperson. Yes. Sure. Well, again, while we're waiting, let me just thank everybody, particularly the attorneys, for how they conducted themselves throughout the course of this week, these 2 weeks. This has been an extraordinary experience, I'm sure, for all of you, all of us. And I can't thank you enough for your professionalism. The same with the bailiffs here in the courtroom and the clerk staff. I know there have been some complaints, at least I've heard, but quite frankly, given the monumental nature of this effort and what we were faced with, I think everybody's performance and the way they handled themselves and performed their duties was fantastic. I couldn't be prouder, quite frankly, of the way this has transpired, despite some of the criticisms that have taken place. This is the first time that we've had anything like this in Jacksonville in the new media age, and the first time we've had a case like this in a long, long time. None that I can quite frankly remember, and I started practicing law here in Jacksonville in 1981, and been on the bench for 12 years, and I just don't remember anything quite like it. With that said, I'm sure there are things that we can do to make it a little bit better, to improve some things from time to time as we go forward. But I think that I'm just not sure how we could have done much better. I think the media had all the access that they could have hoped for, at least under the agreements that we had to begin with. And anyway, I'm just thankful for the way it worked out and glad we made it through. Not sure I'd necessarily wish it upon anybody. So, y'all did a great job representing your particular clients and positions, and so you're to be commended for it. And thank you to the IT people for kind of helping me along. Thank you to my law clerks. As I said, this acting circuit judge thing's a great thing when you've got them helping you out. Wait till I tell the county judges about it. There's going to be some budgetary issues about wanting law clerks for the county judges. So again, thanks to the bailiffs, thanks to the clerk's staff. Mr. Fussel's people have been fantastic watching over these jurors. The law enforcement officers have been watching these jurors and getting them to and from, and really without any incident. So while again, there have been, I guess, a few what I would call minor issues and complaints, overall, I couldn't have asked for anything more from everybody, so thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Only thing we need now is a foreperson to be selected. And the originals. Okay. I don't think we're off.
All right, I've got the verdict forms now with the proper case number on it. So I'll give those to the clerk. And as soon as we get a foreperson, we'll bring everything in there to them.
All right, Your Honor, I'm submitting the redacted transcript, which is a full transcript with the redaction still engraved for comparison purposes, according to number 1. Then the full interview video, DVD, according to number 2, and then a transcript that matches that one is for exhibit number 3.
Okay.
So I'm submitting those to the clerk now. And I sent the clerk an entire copy of our evidence list, and as far as we know, it all matches up.
Thank you. Check, double check, not this. Thanks. Of course, but not release the first one.
Judge, I think we all agree that if the jury wishes to see the store video because of the complicated nature of playing it, that we should have them, you should instruct them to ask for it, and I think we're gonna have to bring them back in and play it from over there. It's proprietary software that makes it very difficult.
You have to go through several steps just to get to it.
Oh.
And then once you get to whatever camera you want, you then have to go to date and time. And it's a very small date and time, so if you don't pick the right time, it won't play. And then at least on my version, once you play, you have to watch the entire thing through.
Okay.
So it is a lengthy process.
Why don't we have you,
Now, we would.
is it okay to begin to take these things in, even though they haven't selected a foreperson seemingly?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead and just bring those in.
And Judge, remember that those little covers on the ballistics exhibits do come off. So those covers come off, they just need to be careful when they're, yeah,
Yeah,
those come off.
and all of this stuff is going in, folks.
Yes, sir.
I mean, just take it in and put it up against the walls. And then, let me ask you this. Does anybody have any objection if I just step back there and tell them that what they need to do about the store video if they want to watch it?
No, sir, not at
No
all.
objection, Your Honor.
Okay, is that all right with you, Mr. Dunn? Okay, I'll just tell them they need to send us a note, and then we'll have them come out here and watch it. That's okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
And those huge boxes doesn't work very well back there. Let me just finish.
Yes, sir.
Okay, they got a 4-person, so I call that 503. All right, there you go. 503, they've started. Now you can keep putting everything in there. Particularly when you got a 12-person jury, there's a big table, there's 12, there were more chairs, we took them out. So there's still 12 chairs, and then you start bringing in boxes like that, it gets rather cramped, just so you know.
We knew that, and we knew there could be a possibility that you would give them an entire courtroom to deliberate in. The problem was with them being biohazardous, and both sides want the jury to be able to see all four sides, and they can't touch them. There wasn't a better way.
I understand, I just-
We do understand, Judge, and we will make arrangements to package them.
Maybe little smaller boxes or something. I mean, it's very nice, I'm sure it's great for them as well, I'm just saying. And the jury rooms are pretty good sized, but when you have and if it's a 6-person jury, it's not really gonna usually make that big of a difference, I wouldn't think, but, you know, Judge Sal was very kind and helped in letting us commandeer his courtroom for a little while, but you just can't count on that kind of stuff all the time, so. Anything other from the attorneys? Mr. Strolla? Well, then we'll be in recess until we hear something from the jury. Just so you know, I've arranged for their dinner to come because they